everybody, it's Philip Holm again from Stars and Stripes Financial Advisors. I wanted to come to you today with another video. This is going to be my Wealth Building TTP video number 2. So for those who are uninitiated, Wealth Building TTPs standing for Techniques, Tactics, and Procedures. So without further ado, Wealth Building TTP number 2 is the King of Battle. AKA maxing out your employer match. Why is that so important? That's so important because you are getting free money. It's coming in. All you have to do is you have to save the amount that's required to get the full match from your employer. This is such a big deal. It's a big deal, frankly, because in the United States, we have a horrible habit of savings. If you look at other developed countries, we tend to be below them in terms of our savings rate. And that puts us into a bind later on in life when it comes time for retirement, when we're saving up and investing for big purchases. We don't have enough saved and invested and have it grow for long enough periods of time to actually get to a point of financial independence, which should be your goal when you hit retirement. You should be able to be financially independent from a job, otherwise you can't retire. So why do I call it the King of Battle? I call it the King of Battle, maxing out your employer match, because just like artillery in the military, it's not coming from you on the front line. This is close air support. This is artillery coming in from howitzers, whatever, and you don't even have to fire. You just have to be there calling it in, right? So just in the same vein, when it comes to your employer match, this is the big guns coming in to help you out on your mission. And it's not spending any of your own ammunition. It's coming from a little bit further back outside of that direct line of conflict, hopefully. So a few factoids that I want to share about employer matches and why they're so significant. Number one is that the typical person who becomes a millionaire does so in large part because of their employer match. It's actually in those employer-sponsored retirement plans where people tend to clear that millionaire mark first. It's in that plan. So don't sleep on this one. It's very, very important. And that's why it's number 2, because it's so effective. We really want to make sure that we don't go on to these other wealth building TTPs until we know we have at least started contributing enough to our retirement plan that our employer is maxing out as much as possible, right? So let's say, for example, that your employer maxes out at 5%. Let's say it's the first 4% they do 100% match, and the next 2% they do a 50% match. So what that looks like in practice is you've got to contribute 6%, but then they're going to contribute 5% on top of that. First 4%, 100% straight up. The next 2%, they're contributing 50 cents on the dollar. That's huge because now your savings rate just went from a 6% savings rate to an 11% savings rate, nearly doubling it. That's all free money. They're not going to give it to you. It's not going to show up in your paycheck unless you actually start. My cat just showed up. Hey Basil, thank you. Unless you start actually contributing, and so you're incentivized to contribute. So with that said, you really, really need to focus on this. Another little factoid about this, why do employers do it? They do it because they're incentivized to do it. They get tax breaks for doing it. The federal government wants you to prepare for retirement so you're less dependent upon different social safety net mechanisms, right? So they're trying to encourage you to get some of your skin in the game. As per usual, the sooner you start, the better. The longer the amount of time you have to allow that compounding growth to occur, the better off you'll be. And in this case, because of that match, it's so much greater. I'll have you think about this for a second, a little thought experiment, if you will. A lot of people will spend all this time thinking about how do I get my rate of return from 10% up to 15%, as an example. Well, what if you could get your rate of return from 10% to 110%? Because that's effectively what's happening in that first year when you get that match from your employer. If you go from saving 3% to 4%, and your employer is going to match 100% of your contribution in that first year, guess what? Free 100% contribution. Don't pass that up. It's too good. Sorry, my cat's making an appearance. So with that said, just try to remember, king of battle, maxing out your employer-sponsored retirement match for your employer-sponsored plan. That's going to help you generate wealth and build wealth as you work towards retirement. And the more you're able to take advantage of that, the better. Can't overstate it. If you're new to my channel, new to Stars and Stripes, please hit that like button, subscribe, share the video. It lets the algorithm know, hey, you found this information useful and helpful. And as per usual, leave me a comment if you've got a question about anything that I'm talking about. If there's some other topic you want to hear about, I'd be happy to address it. So I hope you all are having a great week, and we'll see you again soon. Phil out.